Mirna, welcome. She is an amazing role model, and I think we'll be sitting here for 20 minutes if I just spoke about you. So thank you for coming here. Mirna, just tell us your story and inspire us for a couple of minutes of how you started in Lebanon and came here.
Thank you, Tariq. Hi, everyone. Before I start with my story, I want to tell you something. My son, I shouldn't talk about that, but anyways, my son is going to university next year. And during the summer, he was doing some internship with a blockchain company in Lebanon. And you know, when you're an entrepreneur, you talk about your company during lunch, dinner, bedtime. It becomes your bedtime story. And now he's at a point where he wants to decide on his, where to go, which university, what to study. And he's so confused. I've never seen someone so confused as this boy, because he's seen, they teach him something in school, and then he sees the world in a different. So then he comes and says, Mama, I like Fintech Galaxy. I want to run this company, but can I do mining in the Galaxy? He wants to do blockchain mining in the Galaxy. So this is how our kids think. And I was like, oh my God, what have I done to the boy? So yeah, we can't keep up with them, and whatever we do, it's always falling short. I'm Lebanese, and just like our friend Miss Prestige, is that your name? I love your family name. I come from a country, I'm like a country mouse, and I've been through a lot of wars. I mean, there's no war in Lebanon that I haven't survived. So I've survived all these kind of wars, and I studied English literature, so don't ask me how I got here, but anyway.
When she says wars, it's actual wars.
Actual wars. I lost 2 houses, and I actually survived, bombed down and all that, and then I moved to Dubai as a financial journalist. And speaking of education, I've learned in journalism about the banking sector more than I can bet my life, more than any banker out there in the DIFC, because I've reported on the boom and the bust, the big deals. I've challenged the CEOs, ministers, I mean, you name it. And then, I went to Thomson Reuters. I worked with Reuters and Dow Jones. And then I switched into the business side, where I was heading the public sector. And that's when I realized that, governments are starting to get lost between, regulating and leaving the market to innovate. Banks are accepting the fact that the customer experience is changing, and customers are demanding a different kind of banking. Startups are in their own world, thinking that they're gonna, demolish banks, which is not the case. VCs are hungry for deals. I mean, the whole ecosystem is completely disconnected. And I thought, okay, maybe I will institutionalize what I do, which is, as a journalist, you connect a lot of people and provide a platform that actually brings the ecosystem together. And that's what Fintech Galaxy is all about. So we're a crowdsourcing platform. And because I survived wars, the financial inclusion story is very dear to my heart. I've been through a lot of days where I couldn't even have access to my bank or buy anything. And I wanted to work hard, set up this company, and one day I'll put all the charities on the blockchain.
Wonderful.
So that's
Thank
like
you.
my dream.
Well done. So here's the ecosystem that we need.
Right.
Mirna, are we ready for this? Is this region ready for this? Are the compliance issues there? Is the central bank in the game, or is this just something that we are trying to be really cool about?
See, for you to have an ecosystem, you need to have talent, and this region has really amazing talent, right? You need to have the money, liquidity. The region has a lot of liquidity. I mean, we export money into the outside world.
Yeah.
You need to have technology, mobile penetration, and all that. We have it all. You need to have banks. We've got huge banks, and we have a lot of banking systems. But what we don't have, and if you look at the gap between MENA region and the global, during the first half of the year, around $50 billion were invested in fintech. 50, okay? In this part of the world, you barely reach 50 million. So what's keeping this region behind? It's actually the ecosystem is not connected.
Right.
Okay, so regulators are not working closely with banks and startups to open the market. There are some structural challenges into the system that need to change.
Yeah.
So opening, an app on a phone is not going to change how banking is done, right? And investing, 100 million here and 100 million there won't change it. you've got to have some really big initiatives that cascade from top bottom and bottom up to change the whole region.